Good morning, gamers. How y'all doing today? So last night, decided to try running a game on Roll20. If you're not familiar with Roll20, it is an online tabletop simulator. It's got everything you could possibly want, access to all the books, information. It's free. That's important. It's free. And this was my first time. I've looked at it for, Jesus, 4 years now, however long they've been out. I think my membership started in 2015, maybe 3 years, 2 years, whatever. So I've been looking at it for a while, and just had never sat down with it and played a game on it because my group all played on, they were all right there at the table. Well, now I am 2,000 miles away from my friends and group. So I was like, well, I got some things straightened out, and I finally tried to give it a shot. So I created just this quick little simple level 1 run. And I will say, it has everything you could possibly want. You can add your background music on there. Everyone's got video voice chats, little icons. You can move the things around on the screen. There's monsters you can add in there. You can do the fog of war where the DM can see everything, but the players can only see what you reveal to them. And all this is great. It works out. It's fairly well. I had a few problems. The first problem, and this one is nothing to do with Roll20. The first problem I had was the fact that both of my kids and my wife and myself were on our internet connection. And then another friend of ours was on his. And when you put 4 people trying to basically stream on one broadband connection, it was lag. I mean, it was lag. I'd tell them something and they're like, it's still there, and then a few minutes, almost 20 seconds, on some instances it was almost a minute. I think everybody got booted at one point just from the lag, the system freezing up and reconnecting them. One guy that was playing with us, he was on for most of it, and then at the end of it, it lagged him out, and he couldn't reconnect his sound and his video. So all it was just him having to type everything in. He could see the movement on the screen, and we were using their dice rollers, so he could use the dice rollers and do that. Made something simple, but it was still kind of a pain. So if you have bad connections, it's not going to be fun to play. That was the first issue. Most of it that was on my end. The next thing, I can go through on a home game, on a table game. My camera's turning. On a table game, and really come up with anything on the fly. Boom. And just do it out there. Because I have access to all of my miniatures. I have access to my books, my maps, anything I need to just throw on the table. If all of a sudden they get into a bar fight, I've got the stuff. I'm going to go, okay, there's some barrels here, there's some chairs there, blah, blah, blah. Ease of use, for me, tabletop is just so much easier to use. Now, when you get into the Roll20, if they're in a tavern and they go into a bar fight and you don't have a tavern set up, it takes a little bit of time to try to set one up. Your other option is theater of the mind over the internet, which makes the Roll20 aspect with their maps and stuff almost mute, because you can do the same thing over Facebook Messenger, Google Hangouts, anything else. The advantage, so it was just, for me, setting something up, it felt like it took longer to set up because I had to build all this stuff on my end, And then I had to go into the program and load all and build all the stuff that I wanted them to build in the online and have that built up. And then trying to make sure everybody was moving and doing all the turns, and it just seemed overly complex. But I'm old. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not old, but I feel old. So I'm older than most gamers. I mean, I'm old enough to be, almost everybody that I gamed with in my last group, I was old enough to be their father. So for me, it's just not something I was really having fun with. I mean, it was cool. I enjoyed playing with it because I love technology. And I imagine if I do it more and more often, it will be easier. I can just, click, boom, 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 and be done with it. But it was still a learning curve. The one thing I could say, or well, more than one thing, there's a lot of things I can say with this. Positive things about Roll20 is modules. They have a lot of the modules on there, a lot of the D&D modules. The Tyranny of Dragons, I believe, is on there. They're all purchasable. You can actually buy subscriptions and gain access to certain things. I didn't buy a subscription. I felt like I would be buying things twice, so I didn't. But if you didn't have that stuff, you have access to it, and it's all the maps, and boom, you can just literally, if you're doing Tyranny of Dragons, you can literally pull the map in from the books, and boom, it's there. Your players can see whatever you set up. If you have the time and DM it right, Roll20 is an excellent service to use. Really good for modular play. For setting up a modular style adventure. For a long-running campaign style, the voice chat aspect of it and having access to the basic mapping area where you can just quick draw stuff on, because you can draw stuff on there too. You can just okay, there's a barrel here, and then you can draw it as if it's a whiteboard or a dry erase board. It's all that possibility is there. So it's got a lot of potential. And I think what I'm trying to say is the more I use it, the more I'm going to enjoy it, because I'm going to continue using it. They have some options on there that really intrigue me as someone who is trying to make Dungeons and Dragons more prominent in my life, as in I'm trying to make a career. Well, not a career. I would love to have a career as Dungeons and Dragons. But someone who's trying to make this hobby a little bit more into hobby. And so they have some really good options on there. And I'm interested to see, once I play with it more, we're going to see. So all in all, Roll20, I enjoyed it. I will probably be using it again. I probably won't be using it with my home group because we know each other so well. And we can probably it'd be faster and easier for us to just Facebook. But I think as I go along, I think I will be doing some more online gameplay. I'll be building some modular style stuff and doing it. And that's really all I got right now. I'm about to go into work. So that's all I've got. Yeah, that's all I've got for now. Check out my Facebook page, FMT Games. Well, it's from Anthem Games at FMT Games or Gaming or something like that. I don't know. It's actually, this video will be posted there. So somewhere you can find my Facebook stuff, which is mainly posting the videos. But if you're interested and you live in the Tri-City, Michigan area, Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, check out my Facebook stuff. I'll run a game for you. I have no problem doing that. And I can do it on Roll20. Mostly. I guarantee you'll have fun. At least for 5 minutes. All right. That's all I got for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.